Hello, everyone. This is a video that has been, I shit you not, I think, damn near at least a year in the making, because we talked about doing this after Cyberpunk was done. And then I played Alan Wake, and then it took us like 6 months to record
6 months, man.
But hey, we're here. We're going to talk about Alan Wake. This is something Josh wanted to do very, very badly, and I'm more than willing to hear people geek out about stuff. So, Josh. Go.
Hello. For those that don't know, I am Joshua Lozano, also known as JoshBoy64 on YouTube. You may remember my channel if you watch the One Marvelous Scene video, or if you're a crypto hacker and thought that my channel was good real estate. I'm still upset about that, but you know what?
And we don't mean the dog in Superman. We don't mean that.
We don't mean the dog.
No.
That's a tolerable crypto.
Absolutely.
That's a tolerable crypto, let me tell you. It's my favorite crypto.
But I love video games. You know, I've been with Brock and Kiona and my fiance in the past. We've talked about Mass Effect and we talked about Cyberpunk. And I wanted to throw them into the deep end with one of my favorite niches in all of gaming, which is everybody knows Remedy Software. They love, you know, namely Max Payne and Control, but one of Sam Lake's biggest passion projects has always been the Alan Wake series. And I am planning on doing a video at some point on both games, the first one and the second one. And I wanted to get Brock and Kiona like kind of on board with like what these games have, because up until this point, you guys, I think you guys, what was your experience with Alan Wake?
I played the original way back when on 360 when it first came out. So yeah, I played through it. But it was like, you know, it's been decades since I played through it. So
yeah, this will make Josh happy. I legitimately only heard about Alan Wake because during the shitstorms, Pat and Matt and two best friends would always talk about how they wanted to play Alan Wake for the shitstorm, but they couldn't because they get sued and striked out of their asses because of all the copyright music that's in Alan Wake. So they couldn't do it.
Oh yeah. It was a fixture on that because Sam Lake is very much. If Hideo Kojima is like the David Lynch of video games, then I'd say Sam Lake is like the Quentin Tarantino of video games.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that.
I could see that
wholeheartedly. I'd agree with
that. I could see that happening.
And I'm not saying that as like a knock on either one of them. Like it's just they're both auteurs, which is rare in the video game sphere, but they both have very uniquely different tastes. And I get the feeling that Sam Lake, although he's a very talented writer, he wants to have more fun when he makes games than Hideo Kojima does.
Yes,
he is more concentrated in having fun and making a video game feel like a video game. Kojima is wondering in every way possible how little of the actual video game he can have in the movie he's making.
God, things are going to be intense when I finally get to play MGS4 because I've heard the horror stories. That's the only one I haven't played.
Are you ready for some hour-and-a-half long cutscenes?
I will I will do an episode on that when that time comes. This is on you, Konami. MGS Master Collection Volume 2. Let's go.
I just put Revengeance in it. I want Revengeance in the console.
So, when it comes to this, you know, Alan Wake 2 has come and gone, and Remedy's seen some recent success. So, I wanted to bring you guys on board to just like kind of yap in general about Alan Wake. So, I guess one thing to kind of go into this, like, all right, I know your guys' histories with Alan Wake, just kind of on the offhand. My personal history with Alan Wake is I remember reading a preview for it in Game Informer magazine. And I remember just being blown away because I thought that it was premiering around the same time as like Heavy Rain, and I thought Heavy Rain and Alan Wake looked like the pinnacle of graphical fidelity. And keep in mind, at that point, I had an Xbox, but I was still mostly a Wii kid. So, like, it was just a huge leap. And on top of that, Game Informer, if I remember correctly, they had it in that preview, but they didn't have, like, the white backgrounds. They had it with the black backgrounds and the white text. Like, ooh, this is scary.
Nice.
And I remember seeing previews of it on G4 back when it was still like on
Yeah.
cable.
Round 1 of G4.
Yeah.
And it kind of remained a curio from there because you guys remember the year that Alan Wake came out, right?
That was, oh my God. What year was that?
No, I don't.
I believe it was 2010.
Hold on,
It-
let me
it was
double
either-
check.
I
Let me
was
double
gonna say
check.
08, but I knew I was off by a few years.
It's
Yeah,
either
it was May
09
2010. May 2010, yes.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
you may remember 2010 was a stacked year for
Mhm.
video games.
Oh yeah.
Like almost everything else seemed like, oh, like in the same way that for you, Brock, it's like, man, every time there's a Horizon game, there's like 10 other games that come out at that same time.
It never fails.
Yeah, it was like that in 2010. Let me see just real quick. Oh my God. Like literally first things that I see, Red Dead Redemption, God of War
Oh.
3, Mass
Oof.
Effect 2,
Ew.
Halo
Yep.
Reach.
Good
Yep.
Lord.
And for those of you that will appreciate this
It's a
shout out,
great year for games, man.
those of you that will appreciate it, BioShock 2 and Dante's Inferno.
Very nice. Very nice. Dante's Inferno. Holy shit, dude.
Inferno. Man. Good Lord. You fight a mountain of tits in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was the talk of everybody in school, like, oh my God, did you hear about that? That's the hell game. If you play that, you're going to hell. I know.
That.
I would, yeah.
That-
Anyway.
That's not how the Force works, but okay.
Elementary school was a weird time, but
Was.
so on that, I think it's important to like kind of see like how we got to this point, how that crazy Finnish son of a bitch even thought of Alan Wake, and that comes back to Max Payne.
Yes.
Because Max Payne at that point was really successful. It had great critical acclaim, but at the same time, I still haven't played the second one, but I know Max Payne 2 was especially critically well received, but it sold poorly.
Mhm.
And in order to basically make a return on it, that's when Remedy, at that point, also Sam Lake felt that he was done with the character of Max Payne. So he basically gave the rights of Max Payne completely to Rockstar, as I understand it.
That's what I thought too.
And thanks to those proceeds, not only was Remedy still able to keep the lights on, but Sam Lake really wanted to do something that was totally different from Max Payne. Not have a game that's like an action horror game where the character isn't a badass like Max Payne, but is just like a regular dude. And he thought of like, Stephen King and all that stuff. And that's when he landed on Alan Wake. Now, the development of Alan Wake is very, very different from what we ended up with, because this was going to be a full-on survival horror game, and it was going to be an open world type of beat, where you would basically go around the town during the day and kind of prepare and discover story beats, and then at night, that's when the creatures would come out.
Huh.
And they did so much work on the engine. They did so much work on getting all of this stuff off the ground. But the thing is, it just got too fucking big for them.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
I could see that.
You guys know
I can
how
see
it
that
was,
happening.
right when the Xbox 360 and PS3 generation came out, everybody was just kind of leaping at it like, oh, well, this can do movie quality, CG, we'll have all the power. And then they realized, oh, this isn't nearly as powerful as we thought.
No.
Remember when the PS3 came out and everybody thought that it could power like a nuclear reactor?
Oh my
They
God.
were using it for certain supercomputers.
They
and everyone
were,
was
but
this thing could power the sun. Like,
Well,
just
okay.
because it's got great technology in it doesn't mean it can do certain things.
And it's
right,
slow-
exactly.
Slow the fuck down, Auto
Yeah,
Octavius.
slow your roll, bud.
You gotta chill the fuck out.
Like, what are you doing?
The power of the sun,
In
the palm of my hand.
for $600 at launch.
So that was where Remedy was at, especially with Sam Lake shooting for the stars with it, and it buckled under its own weight. And you'll still see remnants of like that open world approach to it if you remember like certain bits that were like open level like vehicle segments
Yeah.
and all that. That's
Mhm.
very much a carryover from that. And it
I
was
can
even
see
to the
that.
point they were fighting the engine too, because obviously they had to do so much stuff with the engine, with lighting and all that. I compare it to Luigi's Mansion, which is a weird comparison, but in the same way that like the light is very much a part of the gameplay, like that's like kind of what I mean.
Hmm.
And it even got to the point where after they scaled everything back and decided, all right, we're not going to make this an open world. That's just unfeasible. We can't keep this as open ended. Let's just make it linear. And that's where like the episode counts for each section comes in. But they still had the issue with the engine, as I understand it. They just,
Hmm.
for certain things, for collision, they just could not fucking reconcile it. Like something was going on. So they just decided, you know what? What if we just make this faulty collision a gameplay mechanic? So we'll get to that in a bit because I remember that you had something in particular, and I have a feeling that that's what it
Very
was.
true.
But yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Very true.
you cut to Alan Wake coming out, and it was pretty well received for the most part. But a lot of people
was.
a lot of people did have like some criticisms of it. Namely, I remember at the time everyone thought that Alan Wake was a fucking asshole.
I mean, they're not entirely wrong.
They're not.
I
And
feel like those people only played the first episode or two.
But yeah,
and stopped
yeah.
playing the game.
Yeah, I could see that.
and like off of that, like Remedy, like they still took it to heart, and then they released like 2 DLC episodes which do address some of the criticisms, and then they wanted to do a sequel, but they never got a chance to because Alan Wake sold so poorly due to the fact that there was so much other shit coming out that
Yeah.
and then after everything going on with Microsoft buying them, it was just, well, it's just stuck over there now. It is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And obviously it'll stay that way until Alan Wake 2, but that's a story for another time. For now, that's the precarious spot that Alan Wake was kind of in. It was kind of a curio, and those that played it and experienced it, they defended it as hard as
Yeah.
they could. It was like that precious little child that they had that was so underappreciated, but they cared so hard for it. They rode so
Precious
hard.
little Alan. He's but a precious little cherub
He's just a
fighting
a
the
little-
darkness.
he's just a little guy that's trying to find his wife.
He's just a little guy.
They're protecting Alan, and then there comes Barry Wheeler drunk around the corner, stumbling into a table.
For real. Oh my god.
So now we know
Barry's
the
like one of
history.
my favorite people in
Barry's
this game.
great.
He's so
yeah.
great. He's so stupid. Like
Now we know the history. Now we can kind of get into like kind of like the overall gameplay, and then we'll get into like the characters and all that. How would you guys describe how Alan Wake plays?
It does, like, we said that they wanted to originally do it as survival horror, and I would say it is still there.
very much so. Very much so.
How do I want to say this? It's not quite Silent Hill, but it's that guy that always gets invited to the family occasions that Silent Hill has. If you get kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
I do. I understand.
It is it looks like it's kind of mixed with, oh boy, only the few that I want to get the cat. Oh man, what is that game series called?
Wait, which one? Which one?
It's got the camera obscura in it. What is it?
Fatal Frame?
Fatal Frame. There was like little bits of Fatal Frame that are in there with like the
Yes,
flash
yes.
moments coming around you.
Yeah.
And,
I got that
I
too.
don't know if they purposely wanted to try and make it that like Alan's not a sharpshooter, because he's not.
He's really not.
They wanted you to make like you were playing as a normal guy who doesn't normally handle a firearm, and that is a good
Yeah.
thing because he's not. You shouldn't just make
Yeah.
anyone be like John Wick, and I greatly appreciated that because you kind of had to figure out his
Yeah, I mean-
pattern of shooting things.
He's a writer. He's not gonna sit there and all of a sudden just be like a mastered, firearms wielder guy and
Yeah.
like just be able to like. Although he can dodge pretty well, I must say, some of those dodges, man.
Yes. Yeah.
got-
Throw an axe at my head. He just goes whoosh. Bullet time. Slow down, Zack Snyder.
A little bit of character
Anyway,
for Max Payne.
John
not as
Woo.
much.
Yeah.
It's that little thing in my personal headcanon. He just really liked The Matrix.
Yeah, there you go.
And, like-
He's a big fan of John Woo movies, so he likes a little bit of the slowdown.
He wrote in that he had bullet time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it does work that like his big like bullet time thing is when he's trying to get the hell away from everything.
Yeah, like
It
what he's
does-
dodging. Yeah.
Like it adds to that instead of like going towards the danger and like, oh yeah, it's just more, oh no.
Shit.
Oh shit.
But as a writer, he also like comes across like a lot of like different things, and one of the thing for me that really like invested me in the game, because it took me years to
Yeah.
finally play it, and when I finally did, I felt like, where has this been all my life? It was when it was literally like, because you get collectibles through the game, a lot of them are superfluous, but the ones that matter the most are, because he's a writer, there are manuscript pages that you find that like allude to either stuff that's happened off screen or stuff that you will experience. And the thing that sold me on the
Yep.
game was that very first manuscript page that you get that talks about how like, everything was okay, and then he heard the roar of the chainsaw. And I was just like, "Ooh, what's going on there?" And then later on, sure enough, there's an enemy that you fight with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I read one of those, I just did like, well, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm not looking forward to that. Shit.
So
Uh,
to get in to recap myself with the story, I played the remastered edition, and there's a couple of interesting things about it. I felt like the combat was worse in the remastered edition than what I remember it being in the original when I first played it. I felt like it was worse. I felt like it was looser, and I felt like there were moments of like where you clearly are like you press the button like you're dodging, but they still hit you. So there were more like cheap hits, and it felt weirdly like the remaster kind of borked the combat in a way. I don't know, maybe I've gotten worse, but I feel like I've gotten better as a gamer over time. I feel like this is not me. I feel like this is not a me issue. But I wonder if other people have had that same experience with the remastered edition, because it's like that just seemed to me to be a little bit weird. So maybe they either unbalanced it somehow or rebalanced it to make it more difficult. I don't really know.
do you know what exactly was all done with the remaster, Josh? Did they actually say what they all did?
Yeah, do you know what they did, if they fucked with that? Because it seemed like they did. But they also left out the writer and the Signal DLCs. They left it out of the remaster.
Here's the interesting thing, because they're both in there. It's just that they're not part of the main game.
What?
Yeah.
So how did I not see them? Because it's not even on the menu. There's no like thing for DLCs that I saw.
It's under
Am I blind?
extras, I believe.
Oh, that's why.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
why. I wouldn't have looked for it under there.
it's like a movie thing. Get it? Because he's a
Oh,
writer.
because he's a writer. Yeah, I wouldn't have looked for it under there.
Okay.
So obviously I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The biggest thing that they do with the remasters, from what I saw, they gave Alan Wake a facelift, so now he looks a little bit closer to like Ilka Vili than kind of
Okay.
this weird hodgepodge where he kind of looks like Mark from The Room in the original version. And
Kind of.
I
Not gonna lie.
Now.
think
Yeah,
they
I know. Now I can't unsee it.
I think they upscaled it to be like 60 frames per second consistently throughout the whole thing, and they removed a lot of like other things, like the batteries were Energizer Bunny batteries.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
And I
That's
think
funny.
I think they even had
They were
commercials,
branded.
too. They had
Yeah.
commercials, too. Like so Sam Lake was doing Mr. Samuel Lake was doing this shit before Kojima decided I want Monster Energy
That's
in my walking
fucking
game.
funny. Energizer.
The
I
biggest
remember
thing,
it being Energizer batteries. Holy shit, that's so funny.
the biggest thing that they did was they did work with the adaptive controllers because in the
Okay,
original
that's
game
fair.
they like obviously one of the big things that happens is you're fighting a lot of like darkness based enemies, so you have to shine your light and kind of like weaken their dark shield so that way you can like fire.
Yep.
And if you hold down like the trigger to aim, it uses up like the battery on your
The
flashlight.
battery, yeah.
But
Yeah.
with the adaptive controllers, you can actually slightly hold down
Apple.
like
Mhm,
half pull, and it'll give you that angle of like aiming down the sights, but it won't use up the battery.
Mhm.
Now, what I'm
Oh,
saying,
that's interesting.
I think what you might be experiencing is just the fact that since it's more upscaled, everything's a lot like floatier and a lot more like fast to an extent.
That's sort of what I felt, though. It is kind of what I felt. I felt like everything was very floaty. So I will admit that I feel like the remaster did sort of frustrate me. There were moments where I definitely was like, oh my god, this is not what I remember it being. But then again, it might be either it's the fact that I'm getting older, so I'm getting worse, or it's the fact that my memories of it are just better than the actual thing itself. You know what I mean? But I do remember it being more fun for me at the time when I first played through it. But this time around, though, I got the story more.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I understood it a lot more, which is cool. Even without the signal and the writer. I'm sad that I didn't get to experience that before this, but I did play American Nightmare. So, I got that bit.
I guess off
But,
of
yeah.
that too, like how did American Nightmare feel for you gameplay wise?
Okay, so that actually felt better.
Okay, because American
So
Nightmare
maybe it's just
still
that. Yeah. It's like it's the older version of the game. It's like the original, PC release at least of American Nightmare. So it's from that time when they first ported it over onto PC from console. So maybe it's just the fact that back then it was just tighter. Maybe it's just less floaty. Because when I did play American Nightmare, I was like, you know what? This feels better to me. And I like the
Yeah.
little UI improvements that they made in American Nightmare. Like for instance, when you find like the manuscript pages in there, it just goes into this full screen, like almost FMV style of like him just reading it and the page just kind of slowly just going up on the screen and stuff as he's reading it. And I just like that. So I don't know, maybe I should have played like the original PC version that I have on Steam. I have both. I have the remaster and I have the original. But like
If anything, like I'm actually a little thankful for that because I've played both versions. I've played the I played the Xbox 360 version, and I'll admit
Yeah.
I had a bit of a harder time with that because I still have my old Xbox 360 wireless controllers from when I got
Okay.
the Xbox. They got like horrible
Dude.
stick drift, so I had to fight the whole game with it.
man. Oh, that's
But-
horrible.
I was still able to like
Ooh.
power through, and then I played on the PS4 and the PS5. I played
Okay.
the PS4 version and the PS5 version. So,
Okay.
like, off of that, like, no, I do agree that it's floatier, and that's very much
Yeah.
a sign of like the time that it came out in. Because, I mean, you guys remember around that time, like everybody wanted to be either Uncharted or Gears of War or Call
Yeah.
of Duty.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you have any issues with the gameplay, Brock?
So, there was a certain enemy type that whenever I found out we had to deal with it, I wanted to put a fucking hole through my monitor. And that was I believe they called them poltergeists?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
The inanimate objects that would get
Oh
thrown
god,
at
I
you?
hate those things. I don't remember hating them as much on the 360. That's why I don't remember
There
that.
was like certain parts where I would get corralled into an area and just get gangbanged up against the corner by a Connex box where I'm just like trying to shine the light on it long enough and it'll be sitting there spinning. I will be 2 seconds away from opening the show and then it would boom and slam me clean into a wall.
Man.
And then every time I'm just like, oh no, I'm just like, please don't have that tractor come to life, please. Fuck! Like actual enemies, I had no problem with. There was one later that I want to say was in like the second to last episode or something that wasn't bad. But other than the poltergeist, we were talking about Collision earlier. There was a specific scene right before we go to visit who was the light lady? I'm blanking on her name. The one that gives you the clicker.
Oh, God.
Blanking
shit,
on
what
her
is her
name.
name? Yeah.
Not
Cynthia, I think.
is it Cynthia?
Cynthia Weaver.
Yeah.
Weaver.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you get attacked while you're running across the dam or a bridge. And when I tell you
Oh, I
that
hated it.
world didn't exist when I was jumping to other things and just running in certain directions, and the
I
game
hated
just
it.
told me to fuck off multiple times.
Yeah.
Josh, I hope your ears were ringing because I was cursing you out so many times.
No, I could feel a disturbance in the force.
That was the worst section of that game by a country mile. But then it leads to one of the coolest parts of the entire game. So like my frustration kind of went.
It does.
But like just thinking about the top going into there, I was like, why is this section in here?
I actually have kind of a funny thing relating to that because I've played it so much that I've adapted to I flip, in the words of the angry video game nerd, I flipped the shit switch so I'm able to adjust with it. But there was one time where I actually stopped myself. It was actually the reason why I stopped like trying to platinum it, which I'm telling you right now, trying to platinum the Alan Wake is like an exercise in patience and futility. Because I stress to you, Brock, like you'll get because of the collectibles, there's like the thermoses and the
The
cans
coffee
and all that.
thermoses, and the
And
cans, yeah.
I just told you don't go for it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're fucking everywhere and nowhere, and it's frustrating to find them. And
Yeah.
some of them
Yeah.
are restricted, just like with the manuscripts, to the higher difficulties.
That's what I was getting that sense. I was getting that sense because I was playing through on normal and stuff. And then my save got corrupted. So I had to go back and I was just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just going to play it on easy mode because I just want to get through it. And so
Yeah.
I played it and I got through it and I noticed that there's just a whole bunch of stuff missing. And I was like, okay, this is obviously like difficulty
I've never
gated
heard of
or
a
something.
Game locking collectibles behind difficulties.
I'm pretty sure Doom does that too.
Does it?
Wait, really?
I'm pretty sure, like Dark Ages, I'm pretty sure, because like I collected everything on the map a few times and I got 99% complete, and I was like, how is this 99%? I got everything that you guys had on there.
That's such a weird thing to lock behind.
So I think that they locked it behind difficulty, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
With the manuscripts I get, because a lot of it is like even more like story stuff that's like outside of everything. Like, I think
Okay.
with the collectibles in the harder difficulty, it's like Thomas Zane's like poems and everything like that.
Oh.
So it's
Okay,
like-
that's kinda
Okay.
cool.
And I think even
That's
lyrics to
kinda cool.
like the old gods of Asgard's like songs. We'll get to that in a bit, but
I'm sure it was great.
off of like what your frustrations, there's an achievement,
Oh, no.
and I don't remember if it's for the writer or the signal or if it's for the last chapter, but it's one of those, and it's make
You
it
told me about this, but go ahead.
it's make it to the end without firing a single shot.
Yep, and I know
So-
what chapter you're talking about because you have told me that. And
God.
then when that chapter came up, I tried that, and then hardcore noped it within minutes.
No.
Okay, so I'll tell the story for everyone, but like, did I tell you, Kiona?
I don't think so.
Oh boy, get ready to be frustrated.
Is this the
So-
one
Oh,
with the
here
can
we-
you
here we
found
go.
Is this the one with the can mountain thing?
Yes, so I make it there, and I'm also
Mhm.
trying to do like other things, but like I figure, all right, this is my time, so I go ahead and I just go for I just sprint to the end, and I died so much. I died so goddamn much. I didn't even want to use like the flashbangs or anything like that because I was worried that would count as like shooting somebody. It's an
Yeah,
older game,
does
so I
it?
assumed that the jank would count.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to try that experiment to find out. But there's a point where you're on the bridge and you're just like you're running and running and running and everything's just being flung at you, and I'm just trying to weaken them with my flashlights, but I'm
Yeah.
dodging and sprinting, and I'm dying and I'm dying and I'm dying, and then I make it to the end where you have to shoot. No, yeah, it was the last chapter because I make it to the end where you literally have to shoot at like the center of this vortex.
Yes, yeah, you do.
um,
With the
like,
flare gun.
flare gun. And I'm like, all right, if this will work for it. And then nothing came up. And I was just like, what the hell happened? And then I looked up a video on it. And yeah, it's supposed to kick in right before you get the vortex. So I was like, what the hell is going on? And what I forgot
Oh no.
was that right before I decided, oh, let me go for this achievement, I had literally fired a single bullet because there was a beer pyramid on one of the benches.
Oh
And I was like,
no.
That was
It counted it.
45 fucking minutes
Oh
of torture
no.
undone by a single fucking bullet. And to make it worse, the DLCs have achievements like that are even more extreme. There's one section of the DLC where you're literally facing off against a poltergeist demolition derby with like tractors and trucks and shit like that.
Oh Jesus.
You have to make it
Why?
from one end of the demolition derby to the other on foot without taking any damage. And
No.
after that, I said, no, fuck that. I'll try that at some point when I feel like committing self-harm, but like
Yes.
not today.
Not today, sir.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that was one of the things where when I mentioned to friends that I was doing this, and some of them know that like I'm not exactly like a what I want to say platinum junkie. I will look at a game and go, that looks like I won't murder myself getting that. And you can get most of it along the way, and there's like one or two collectibles. Like, I'll nab that. It'll feel good when you do it. People were like, are you going to try and do the platinum? And then I'm like, I don't know. Like, Josh said it's kind of... And then they started mentioning some things, and I'm like, I think I'd rather send my dick through a shredder than do some of those things. So, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Good old Dick Shredder.
I'll tell you right now, like the platinum for Alan Wake 2 is so much more manageable because a lot of that is either just story and a handful of things where it's just like, what if I tried this and it works? Then you get an achievement.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like,
That
yeah,
sounds...
I will urge that with anybody that's willing to give this game a shot. I know we're going in on it a little bit, but like it's a 2010 game. It can handle it. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the thing that you had to contend when it comes to older games, even games of a lost generation. Like there are some people that won't play the original Metal Gear Solid or Final Fantasy VII because they're so antiquated.
Oh, yeah. Like, right now, the only Assassin's Creed games I ever played was Syndicate, and then I didn't play one again until Shadows because I'm a whore for the Japanese aesthetic. And then I put 110 hours into doing everything that main thing had to do. And I'm talking with my friend. I'm like, should I probably just like actually sit down and play the Assassin's Creed games? He's like, yeah. And then I started with 2. And oh boy, is that a game that came out on the fucking 360. But like, it was hard, but I got through it and I played that whole trilogy and now I'm on 3. And the jump from the end of Revelations to 3, I tell people it felt like that scene in Forrest Gump when he runs out of his leg restraints. It was just unreal. And it's just like, I can go wherever I want. I can climb things. I can jump. I can sing. Like, it was everything. But, like, once it's done, I was happy I played those Assassin's Creed games because, like, The actual game itself is fun. Did I wish more of Ezio's members of his family got murdered while I was playing them with the parkour sometimes? Yes, but it was still fun.
Can I just say, did you just do a did you just do a Simpsons Planet of the Apes reference?
I did. And I always
He can talk. I can sing.
And the worst part is, another Two Best Friends reference, Reset the Clock. I never know most of the things that I reference from Simpsons because of Simpsons. I remember them because of Two Best Friends, because Wooly and them brought it up.
Fair.
In the middle of Beyond Two Souls, the fucking grandma comes pulling up out of nowhere and starts talking like she can talk, and I don't remember who goes, and she can sing!
It might have been fucking Matt. He's
It might have.
He's such a Simpsons nerd. Oh my god.
I feel so bad about people who are like, you're such a fan of Simpsons. I'm like, no.
You don't know. You don't know.
No, but I
don't
mean,
know.
if you catch it through osmosis, and that's what happens, man. But yeah, getting back to Alan Wake though, yeah, that's gameplay wise, little clunky, but but I think it's aged relatively well, all things considered.
The story's aged perfectly, in my opinion.
The story is perfect,
that's
yeah.
Cool. The people feeling like, oh, you don't know if it'll hit as hard. Josh watched me play the first 2 episodes, and the reaction of him seeing me when I zapped back into the car, my brain couldn't function. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean that cabin hasn't existed for like 12 years? What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
When that happened and you were genuinely like invested, it was like, oh, we got him. We got, thank God. At times, it can feel story-wise like Sam Lake is shooting a little too ambitiously with this. Like, I call it the sophomore, the sophomore shooting, where, you know, you compare it with like Death Stranding, like going straight from Metal Gear, being stuck with that franchise for so long, and then Kojima goes into that. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna throw fucking everything that I can. It feels like Sam Lake kind of does that to an extent with Alan Wake, but at the same time, like, it makes those bits that hit hard just all the more impactful. And on top of that, it even highlights, I think, his strengths as a writer, which is that he just makes you care about the characters.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. He also is very good at making you hate people. That freaking,
he's really good at that. Jeez.
Oh shoot, I can't think of his name. Is it Emil Hartman, that doctor?
Yeah, the
Yes.
doctor.
Like,
Oh my
I played
god.
Control first, and then he turns into whatever the fracking thing he turns into that AWE DLC, and then I come back and I'm like, weren't you the thing that came from the thing in the?
Oh, so
and-
you're picking up on it. You're
so
picking up on it.
and then that fucking. Oh, what's her name? The darkness, the woman in the black veil that you shove the clicker into.
Barbara
Yeah.
Jagger.
Yeah, Barbara
was-
Jagger.
I was so done with that woman by the end of that game. I was so done. And like the proper way
same.
you should hate someone, I want to deck you so hard.
No, yeah, Barbara is fucking despicable, and Emil Hartman. There's a lot there too, because one thing that I've picked up on is that, like, you know, obviously Alan Wake is a lot of like Sam Lake's favorite things rolled into one. I mean, did you guys know that he likes Twin Peaks?
I think he does. I also think that he's watched an episode of The Twilight Zone.
I've had no idea. I had no idea that he liked Twin Peaks.
It's a little
at
subtle.
all.
It's a little
So
subtle.
subtle.
But
So subtle.
He puts like his love of Twin Peaks, and he also puts his love of music. I mean, Barbara Jagger, all that stuff, the copious amount of licensed music. And I don't know if I ever meet him, if I'm ever lucky enough to meet him one day, I want to ask him if Emil Hartman is like a very long, like a big Easter egg to. And I know this is a weird thing. I get to geek out about the Beach Boys right here with this. But I wonder if Emil Hartman was inspired by Dr. Eugene Landy, who is the guy that was... I don't know if you know this, Brock. Brian Wilson was... he went off the deep end because he kind of like lost his mind a little bit with drugs and like
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
sensitivity and all that. And
Yeah.
he was under heavy conservatorship by this doctor named Eugene Landy, who basically specialized in like working with the stars and kind of like, working with them like through their creativity to like help them get better. But it was basically just his way of siphoning money and leveraging their talents for his own ambition.
Oh shit! No, I did not know that.
If you ever get a chance, look up like just videos of it or watch Love and Mercy,
Brian
which is
Landy?
a great video or a great movie. Eugene Landy or Lambie.
Eugene Landy. Okay.
And he very much like just kind of like is a puppet master just with them and just kind of like kept Brian Wilson like drugged and just like strung out and would starve him. And
24-hour therapy program.
Yeah, that's what he was on. And when I saw how Emil Hartman was, it very much drew parallels with that, because he wasn't just doing that with like wanting to get Alan Wake, but he was doing that with like the painter in the like at the cabin. He was doing it with the old gods of Asgard, and
you could tell something was not kosher with him. Like from minute one, you could see it
He was that got all of the creative juices for the darkness.
It was like
One thing before we go off of it, brain rot has fully gotten into me. People that are too young to understand this reference that are possibly watching this video, I grew up with my buddy Dylan Gullickson, who was a giant fan of Dave Chappelle. And I like Dave Chappelle myself. We ended up, we watched the Chappelle Show relentlessly. And there is a clip where they have Charlie Murphy talking about meeting Rick James. And Rick James calls him darkness. No, so every time they mention darkness in this game, all I hear is Dave Chappelle impersonating Rick James going, darkness is! And I'm trying to play this game that's super serious, and I'm laughing my ass off like, I can't do this.
Oh man, if you only played Destiny.
Oh god,
especially early Destiny, man.
Yes.
Oh my god,
that was all it was just the darkness.
We talk about.
Oh yeah. I want to say my brain was more resilient to brain rot back then, because it didn't get me as much with Destiny. But I think it's because I work with too many young kids now. It's.
Oh my god! Do you know what's so funny though? Is like that just happened to me today when we were doing like a D&D session with my other pals, with Red and her people, and we were just talking about like somebody mentioned something and it just reminded me of Bane and Dark Knight Rises because I just rewatched it. And so I just started doing Bane quotes the whole time.
I think that's what makes this like even more endearing now compared to back then. In a sense, it's almost like Twin Peaks, where like I think now
it's so Twin Peaks.
It's so more like people have kind of like taken more of a shining to like the surreality rather than like back then where I told you the list of all those games that came out in 2010, like those are like heavily focused, like intense narratives, and then you got this weird game where it's just like, oh, they're drinking the magical moonshine so they can summon like the darkness and they can like be one with like everything.
We suck the creative juices out of writers and painters.
And like there's smart stuff there, but like then you get to like the coolest stuff, which I don't know about you guys, but like for me, it's still one of the highlights. I imagine it's the highlight for you guys too, because I believe it's chapter 3 or 4. You get two different extremes where you're without your gun, and then you get your gun back and then some, because you got to go to a farm, and then you get the patented Remedy needle drop moment.
Yes, you do.
Just live out the freaking concert of the old gods of Asgard.
That was like, really cool.
That was awesome.
That's when the gameplay, I think, like combines into something absolutely like amazing. Where it's just like, no, when it that's a crazy thing, because when it works, oh my god, it works, and you feel like a god.
Oh yeah.
And that is one of the things where when I say it's kind of like that guy that gets invited to the Silent Hill things every now and then, because there'll be moments where you'd have the slow-mo for getting ready to like dodge someone, couldn't tell you where the dodge was coming from, so that's where I had some moments where I was like getting hit with things. With that thing at the barn, I knew where everyone was coming from, and I felt like Alan turned into John Wick a little bit because I actually, that thing's coming this way. I could prepare to go around there and this and that. And they kind of just finally gave you a free roam, and they're like, all right, hey, we understand there might have been 1 or 2 or 12 really cheap moments where you kind of just got clunked on the head by an axe from behind a tree.
Yes.
But now we're going to let you see everything. And it's going to realize that we did try. This stuff does work. It's just...
Here's your Neo.
We need a point A to point B you every now and then, where we can't have... It can't look scary if everything where the grass is gone, there's no trees, and it's just a plowed path.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate that, like you said, because there is that barrier, there's that wall behind you, so like the enemies you know are not going to be coming from behind you and just throwing axes at your head, you know. So that was nice.
And I think from that point on, that's where something can really click. Where because for me, at that point, for the rest of the game, I felt like I was in complete control. Like, oh no, I'm locked in. I know how to like handle this jank now. I know kung fu, you know.
No, you don't.
Now,
I think you know what's odd about it is that like, so in 15 years something has changed in my brain, obviously, because like I never used to get overwhelmed by the constant, like, you know how when you're in the darkness and then you hear that constant like whoosh, like wind whooshing and stuff. I never used to get overwhelmed by that back then, and I noticed that now it's kind of overwhelming for me. It's like overstim. It's like overstimulation.
You want to know what's for me? Streaming.
Yeah, yeah,
You
I understand that.
to so much more stuff now because you're used to reacting to it that even when you're not playing the game, you're almost waiting on something to happen even more.
Yeah.
Jump scares have got literally programmed out of me when I was younger because I went through a very rough divorce when I was in like elementary school. So, and then my mom is the youngest of 5 kids, but the oldest sibling is 16 years older than her.
Right.
So I would stay at their house, and they bring out a giant cardboard box that had Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and all these things that I should not have been watching at a very, very young age. And it just kind of boiled the aspect of getting scared by movies. So, like, jump scares don't affect me. Video games, though, when you're playing, moving the character, and it's, like, getting you, it gets every time. And there's moments where it's very much a audio experience and like an actual well set tone like this, and especially control at certain points, it gets to you more because your brain is so locked in from a multiple, what I want to say, sense perspective. Your hands are into it, your eyes are into it. Most of us listening to these on headsets playing these games are actually feeling like
so you're actually feeling a lot of
yeah. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that from like the auditory playing this game because
that was the thing for me. That was one of the things for me this time playing it back. I noticed that it started to really bother me. And that's again like it's not something that I would detract from a score or whatever or from a review, but I would just mention it that like if you're prone to being overstimulated by sound, that's definitely something to watch with this game. I don't know if Alan Wake 2 has that in there necessarily.
I'll tell you right now,
from what I played of it, no.
When it comes to that particular bit, like you don't have to worry about like wandering around and then like you just suddenly get the
like that. It was the constantness of it, and I noticed that like for me, repetitive, constant sounds really irritate the shit out of me, and I think that is that was something where I didn't feel it the first time that I played this, but this time around I did.
Especially if like you're going for all the manuscripts, which are like sometimes like way out of bounds too, like in a random cave, it can be like, no, you know what, don't go for that then.
My least favorite bit in this game, okay, this was my least favorite bit. The time when you don't have a gun and you basically only have a flashlight, so you can only stun them. And there's that one generator that's sitting there. And you have the whooshing, and you have that one generator thing, and that you have to start 3 times, and then you have like 5 guys chasing you. I just ended up just being like, no, you know what? I'm getting past this. I don't give a shit. But
Like, you'd
yeah, I
rather
mean
brute
that was.
force it.
Oh my god, that was so rough
Oh,
But
absolutely.
because you just have
luckily-
nothing.
luckily, again, like the biggest strengths with this is like the story isn't anything without the characters, and that kind
Yeah.
of brings me to like, yeah, Alan Wake is a bit of an asshole, like at least at the beginning,
Yeah, at the beginning, a little bit.
and it's just
I'm
like,
gonna be
man,
really honest. I'm not saying this for all creators, but all creators that are trying to take a break from something,
Yeah. He's frustrated.
he's
So
frustrated. So it's like, and then your wife is like, "Here's this vacation. By the way, typewriter."
I
He
would
has
have been
every
like,
right to kind of be an asshole. Let's go.
Yeah, I would have been
serious
like,
here.
no, I get it. Yeah, it's also like, man, Alan, she's just trying to help, and it's like, no, but I get it. I think
Alice, go jump in a lake.
it really helps too, because we've mentioned him before. Hands down, probably the best character in the whole game is one Barry Wheeler.
Barry Wheeler.
Now,
He
I was
goes against the fucking headlamp, and it's like I'm a superhero.
Bro.
it's like my flaming eye of Mordor. And I remember being so worried about that particular character when I first experienced it, because I thought,
Oh my
oh,
god.
Jesus Christ,
I
he's
thought he
about to
was
be
so
the George
dead.
Costanza. Like,
Yeah, for real.
It's the same feeling that I got recently, because I started playing Jedi Fallen Order. I finished it and I played Survive. I'm playing Survivor in between Death Stranding 2 and editing.
Have you reached
And-
Rick the Door Technician yet?
Not yet.
Ah!
I'll let you know when. But
Yeah.
I remember when in Fallen Order they introduced Grease, and I was just like, oh god, I'm gonna hate this George Costanza glup shitto over here. But then, just like with Barry, like he really grew on me, and Barry very much runs the risk of being like that obnoxious, like, oh, we gotta have the humor so that way you don't take this too seriously. But man, there's that point where he starts getting so invested in everything
Yes.
Yeah.
that it just rubs off on everything. Like that whole sequence at Emil's facility
Yes.
when he's walking around with the Alan Wake standee.
Oh
like
god.
that's just perfect.
Yeah.
That bit where he like where you're Alan and you're trying to climb up into the entrance into the barn or whatever, and then you like turn to him and he just goes like, I'm Alan Wake, I don't pay my agent enough. So freaking funny.
He was a very he's what I want to say. He is the not extreme version of what everybody thinks that character is. It's what the
Yeah.
realistic version of what that thing is that everyone turns to 3000 when they stick them in a movie or a video game.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, no, if we all this character has to be the extreme. No, that character could be really good if you like put him at a 2 and then put the situations he's in extreme so that he
Yeah.
ratchets up to about a 4.
Yeah.
Like especially like in when you're in Bright Falls during I think chapter 5, I think, and you're just running through the town and you're talking with Barry over the phone, and
Mhm.
yeah, you think that he's totally gonna die, and then it turns out, oh no, he can handle himself.
Yeah,
Like
he
that-
does a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
Like that just makes me so happy. Just like, oh, thank God, he's not only is he like okay, but he's way better than I anticipated, and that's where like
wraps
the
himself in
manuscripts.
Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Like especially that's where the manuscripts come in. Like when you're near the end, you get that one manuscript where he's talking with Sarah Breaker, and it's like Barry like sat back and didn't say anything because he knew in his heart that was the last time that he'd ever see his friend again.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's how you know it's so effective. Even with Alan writing this stuff out, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, although Emil Hartman is a great villain, and
Mhm.
although Barbara Jagger is a perfect evil she bitch,
Gonna talk about Captain Cockbag Nightingale.
oh yeah, we like Agent Robert Nightingale is probably the best villain in the whole first game because he's the anti Dale Cooper.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Oh my god.
from minute one, it's just like, oh, I hate you. But then he'll just say something so stupid that like you can't help but love his aggressiveness. Like the running joke that he has of just constantly calling Alan Wake
I'm gonna
a
get
different
you,
writer.
Raymond Chandler.
Yes, a different writer. Yes.
My personal favorite that someone brought up, a YouTuber brought up, I wish I remember which one. Like, there's one point where it's just like, hold it right there, Spillane.
Yes, Spillane. Like, what the fuck?
There's a headcanon. There's like someone said there's a headcanon. Like what they like to think is that Robert Nightingale, like obviously it's not that he doesn't give a shit about the writing. Like even though like he is just like I just want to catch this guy, this and that. This guy
He
had
loves
a
all this
theory
stuff. Is the
that
thing.
he loves this stuff, and maybe his main thing is that either he was a big fan of the Alex Casey novels, but hated what killed off Alex Casey. So this
Mhm.
is personal, or
Yes.
Yeah, it's
the
like
other,
super personal.
Yeah.
the other side of it is that he more likes mystery stuff, but he views Alan Wake as like the James Patterson of that universe. It's just like,
It's
oh,
like a hack, you know.
he's a fucking hack. So this is even more like, when the person that you hate has a reason to be hated now, like, okay, let's dive in.
Yes.
I'm coming for you. Do you hear me, H.P. Lovecraft?
It's just one of those things. Every time we came up, I'm like, man, what excuse you're gonna come up and make what you want to hate me now? It's like, oh, of course, yep, that works, Nightingale. I wish I could shoot you, I really do. But every time you're like, oh, then we go for a while, and I'm like, in my brain, partially waiting for the next time he's going to pop up and irritate me. I'm like, I need to hear what actual stupidity you're going to shoot at me this time. Because I get that's your point. You're to be a dick, and I'm kind of
Yeah.
just waiting on what creativity you're popping up with now.
Like, I think the shining moment for me in terms of just like, oh yes, give me more, is right after Alan Wake wakes up from the fucking hangover of the magical moonshine.
Oh my god.
And like, as soon as he wakes up, it just cuts to that shot of Nightingale with the gun, and it's just like, and you're gonna pay. And then it just hard cuts to Alan Wake,
Yes.
end of episode 4 or 5. It's like, oh,
I forgot
yes.
about him and Barry getting smashed on that moonshine. I forgot all about that.
That was great.
And I
Oh
think-
man.
That's especially where all this succeeds, because even though like the situation is very dire and serious, at the very least the game, and I like to think Sam Lake and to an extent the other writers, are aware like this is so fucking ridiculous that you have to like
Oh,
laugh
yeah.
at the absurdity of it.
There has to be a light moment somewhere where they're kind of like, do you realize how dumb our lives are right now? Yeah, we should be doing something. Like, no, I just kind of like to get drunk while we're safe for a little bit because I need to decompress.
Yeah, for
And
real.
And it's such a great moment too, just breaking away from Alan's constant, I need to find my wife.
Yes.
And I love that little
Alice!
I love that little difference too, in like how Alan talks with everybody. He talks like a normal fucking guy, and then you listen to his overwrought voiceover.
The
And
voiceover,
it's so over, but you
the
love
Max
it too.
Payne voiceover.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
It's how you feel you talk when you're like doing movie lines in your head, but you never say it to anyone because you sound like a moron. But you're always just like, that's what's like, me and a friend have written fan fiction for a show called Ruby for like, God, I want to say going on 8 years now. Where he's talking about, he's like, I want to ask people's opinions on lines, but I don't want to show it's like, hey, how would you feel about these two characters that are teenagers in a high school would feel about their. Then he's like, then you try and you're figuring out in your head how fight moves go, but you can't do them in real life. So you have to imagine yourself doing kung fu in your head and how you feel cool doing it. And it's one of those things you're just like, you can't do it. You just can't.
it's so great.
Because the lines don't come across if you talk normal in your head. They can't
But then-
be cool.
But then you say it out loud with another person in the room, and it's just like, oh.
Yes, it reminds me of, I don't know what you imagine of the, it's a clip of, everybody thinks of differently, Theo Vaughn, where it's like, I imagine that he's like, man, do you think the wind is trying to tell us stuff and we just kind of forgot how to listen? Man, I just need you to stop saying stupid shit.
It, no, I know that feeling because it reminds me of like a bit from Game Grumps. I still watch Game Grumps here and there.
Yeah.
There's a point they're playing like this weird like PC like puzzle game, and at some point Dan Avidan just goes like, "And thank God fish aren't into cash." And Aaron Hansen is just like, "What? Like they're trying to rob you?" And he just goes, "Okay, look, we've been recording for a hot minute." And I nodded off for like 2 seconds. So that was like a very brief dream, and I just verbalized it. And you didn't even question it. You just immediately left.
Oh man,
I'm gonna take this little bit off
I
because this is
gotta tell
layers
you.
on top of layers.
I was wondering how
Jesus.
you're doing that.
Yeah, I
in the
was
middle
wondering
of
about how
South
the
in
hell
freaking
you're dealing with
July.
that.
Like,
I
your
walked
air
around-
conditioning must be nice.
I walked around at Comic-Con one year dressed as Alan Wake, and it was so great indoors. But the second that I got out, because it was in like April or June, and just
Ooh.
the sun was just like intense, and I was like, okay, no, I'm done.
Yep, that's how it was with the last like every event that I've cosplayed at. I've always been at a hotel that's been connected by a skywalk that's like air conditioning going from your hotel to that, so it's like it's not that bad. And at this last hotel I went to, I had to walk like a half a block in a Virgil cosplay, which is a leather
Oh,
overall
God.
vest and a
God.
leather
Oh,
jacket.
no.
I walked at half a block and I was ready to boom right in the freaking
Oh,
foyer of that
God.
convention center. I'm like, I walked 50 feet. What? And then the best part, like, I go up and Will Friedle's there. He just looks at me and goes, "Are you gonna do okay?" "Yeah, I just need to be in air conditioning for a while." You were saying something, Guillaume. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that like to add to like characters and stuff and moments. The scene where the second flashback to New York, where you turn on the TV or something and you see like the interview thing,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
and Sam Lake is there, and they go, "Come on, Sam, do the face," and he literally makes the Max Payne face. That was one of my favorite moments in the game, and I remembered that from the 360 days too. I was like waiting for it to happen.
He's one of those
So
people
great.
that I never feel like he's up his own ass if he's
Yeah.
doing his own stuff.
Yeah,
He knows what he's doing when he does the thing. It's not like David Cage when you're a part of the fucking
David
tutorial
Cage.
for Indigo Prophecy. You're showing people
God.
how to operate a crash test dummy.
That's one more like quirk too with that, like just the TV segments, because you get you get
Oh,
like
yeah.
those interviews, and I love it too in that every single TV show, from the interviews to the Night Spring
Night
segments,
Springs. Yeah,
they're all overdubbed, so it makes it seem like really
God.
really bad TV, but
Yeah,
it
yeah, I
actually-
know.
it's awesome.
My personal favorite Night Spring segment is still that very first one with the quantum suicide.
Yes, that's the best one. That is
Like,
definitely the best.
No shade on the
He
other ones, but,
unplugged
like,
it.
Yes.
just a simple unplug, and everyone's like, "Wait, no!"
No. And that's one of those things where it starts with I'm playing this like when I started playing Control, I had no idea what it was about. I played it for like 10 minutes, and then the other voice started talking to me in your head, or she like started talking to her in her head about like what she's did like. Okay, I need to be streaming this. And then all of a sudden that gets in. So then I started playing this, and the first thing of Night Springs was that. Of like, I have like 8 chapters of this game left. This is what you're starting with?
And that's the
What?
damn shame, because like although there's other great like Night Spring segments, like the one about like the person that like traveled back in time, like I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you can't get better than the concept of the quantum suicide and
Side.
the
You
whole
can't.
thing being predicated by just someone accidentally unplugging it. Like that's
I know. That's so funny.
stupid, but so fun.
Yes, absolutely.
I did love the one too where like the guy's on like, you know, he's like, what was that one where they're like all staying in a cabin or something, and then like he goes there and he's trying to like study it for like anthropology or something. He's like studying.
Oh, Yeah.
And then they all
oh,
turn out to be worshippers of like the evil like Cthulhu god or something
Yeah.
like that.
You know,
There's
when I was watching them, it felt like, have you ever had watched that clip of Trey Parker and Matt Stone explain how they write, how you should probably
Yes.
write? That's
Yes.
what it felt like. Like, well, this happened, so then therefore that happened, and then that happened, and then that happened because this happened. Every time it's just going.
That's a lesson for any aspiring writers in this audience. If you want to learn the fundamentals of writing, watch the Night Spring segments and then
Mhm.
apply that to your writing.
You
The
cannot
one about
pussy
the
away
portal in their basement.
Oh my god, the portal. So we like in terms of like the first game, I think we've pretty much like covered almost everything. Then we get to like the ending. Now that was a very contentious thing back
Mhm.
then. Because
Yeah.
for those that don't know, it very much just kind of ends on like this kind of like splash of cold water of like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And
his wife
it-
got out, and now he's fucked.
And I
Mhm.
think it's a very interesting ending, like off of
Wow.
that. But like, a lot of like back then, people were very upset with how anticlimactic it was, and that leads to
Yeah.
American Nightmare and the 2 DLCs. Now, since you guys didn't play the DLCs, I can pretty much sum it up for you guys.
Sure.
Because there is a segment at the very end of the game
hmm
where as you're in the void and everything like that, you start seeing these words appear out of thin air.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
shine your light on it and it creates like it materializes stuff.
hmm hmm
Now that's something that these DLCs like very much like expand on. Because it felt like a really cool gameplay mechanic that they were just like, oh crap, we can't do this properly.
hmm
I'm telling you right now, the very first DLC that they have, I believe it's The Signal.
Okay.
Yeah.
It very much doesn't matter. A lot of it is just Thomas Zane, as voiced by James McCaffrey, rest in peace, coming down and just saying, Alan, you fucked up. You got to go over here so that way we can help. And the whole time, you're just going from point A to point B, all the while, because Alan is stuck in the dark place, he is being basically like followed around by his interpretation of Barry Wheeler. So you get like this kind of like Nego Wheeler like following him around and just kind of like talking with him, but also like kind of reaffirming some stuff. And the main thing that this establishes is that Alan sunk way further in the dark place than even Thomas Zane. So now he's starting to lose it. And he's in the cabin and he's just like rattling off some stuff like, oh my god, the cheese caused at midnight with the sound of the crows and this and that. The mountains came crashing down on Alan, and then at that point something will happen in where we're playing and more enemies will like descend.
Nice.
And after the end of that segment, that's when Alan Wake will that's when we get to the writer, which is in my opinion the best of them, where at that point he's in his right mind, but he has to make his way back to the cabin and basically fight his writer's block, his insecurity. And he even like the whole time the dark side of him is like fighting him, just more like, oh, he's getting clarity, we had to give him more doubt. And there's a really great segment where as you're moving forward in a cave, you enter this door at the end of this cave and you're in a therapist's office and you're with Emil Hart and you see like sitting in the center and he's got a TV over his head. And then as you walk around, TV like shows Alice and Alan and they're just like hashing things out, and Alan's like acknowledging like kind of like his own like toxic sensibilities, his alcoholism and all that. And it's a whole thing about like self-growth. And then by the very end, as you're making your way up to like the cabin and everything like that, the last lighthouse, you're basically fighting like that side with the words that keep appearing. Like you're using like the flashlight to shine a light on like boulders, and then you're able to use the boulders to fight like waves and waves of the Taken. And it's honest to God one of the coolest things in the whole game. Like even if you don't play it like in the lead up to Alan Wake 2, I'd recommend at least like checking it out because it's really worth it. And it's the point where this feels like what it was building up to, like all the gameplay.
Nice.
But that's basically what it ends on. Like that's really all you need to know. Just it's him in the dark place and him coming to terms with himself, and he starts writing a new manuscript because if there's one thing that he took to heart, I need to write more. And he starts the words "Return" by Alan Wake.
Okay.
And then that's when we get to American Nightmare. And American Nightmare is certainly something.
It's something.
Do you want to describe what American Nightmare is like, Kiona?
It's like Groundhog Day, but with a really cool villain.
Yeah.
So I love Scratch, Mr. Scratch, as he's called. I love the evil version of Alan. I think you kind of dispatch him way too quickly at the end, though. That's like my one issue. But like, in terms of American Nightmare, I didn't know what to expect with this game, and so like I know that it had like the arcade version where it's just like an endless like horde mode basically, which I didn't really delve into that because I just wanted to play the story and just get through just learn like what happened with Alan, but yeah. So what it is it's basically 3 little mini quests, like little side quests. And in each of them you meet an NPC, like a key NPC, that you're going to help them out. You're going to help them to survive being in this place, which is this weird like alternate reality that he's in. There's a couple of interesting character beats. Like if you listen to the radio, you find out that Barry went on to manage like Thor and Odin. Like they went on to like revitalize themselves and like get the band back together, and they went on like a tour and everything, and Barry's like their manager now, and they've been selling like crazy amounts of music. So that's really cool. And like there's like you actually have more weapons in this game, in American Nightmare, that you can use.
Yeah.
You have to like find a bunch of manuscript pages though before you can access most of them. So like it'll be like 15 manuscript pages, and you can open up the SMG or whatever. And so I ended up doing that, and let me tell you, it was a lot of fun. To use like an M16 in this game was pretty fun. That's what I mean though. Like the combat felt better to me playing through it. But yeah, it's like, so you go through these 3 different stages that are set in 3 different areas. So one of them is like a little small town with like a diner. The other one is like an observatory, and the other one is a movie theater, which is the final one. We're just going full spoilers here. It's okay. But like, if the first time that you get through it, you face off with Mr. Scratch, and he's just like, nope, you're not getting through this. You're done. And he sends you back to the beginning. So you have to play through it like 3 times. You have to play through each scenario 3 times. But they make it so that, okay, your NPC character somehow remembers that you were there the first time. So like everybody has memories of like the first time. And they're like, oh, I already did this part for you, so you don't have to do this fetch quest. You can just go on and do this part. Yeah, so by the time you get to the 3rd part, it's just like, okay, you just do 1 task, and then that's it. Another thing is that some of the enemies have a little more variety. So like the crows that are annoying in the first game, they will literally turn into a being and will like, they turn into like this hybrid bird like being thing that will attack you and like claw at you and stuff. And so you have to shoot them, of course.
And it's a huge improvement from how they
It's
were.
a huge
in the
improvement. So much of an
To
improvement.
swing back around and hopefully hit the light at the exact right moment.
Mhm.
As they're all coming past you.
Like,
Yeah.
ah.
Like they turn into this bird creature and they land in front of you, and so that they can attack you, and then they turn into into like a murder of crows again, and they fly around. And then they land back down as the creature. So you can shoot them and you can kill them. I just thought it was really good. Like I don't know. It's very short, thankfully, and like I said, like I'm glad that I didn't have to do every single task over and over and over again, because that would have sucked. But the NPCs are kind of cool. Scratch is a great villain. I feel like I wish that there was more of him. I found him to be a lot cooler than than Barbara Jagger was. Like she,
Oh yeah, because like you get
He's-
that little bit at the end of the first game where it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's Mr. Scratch.
he shows up.
We'll
Yeah,
meet him later, and it's like, we're at the end of the game.
Game here.
yeah.
What are you
What
talking
are
about?
you talking about? Yeah. So he's like the Joker. You know what I mean? Where he's like. He has that whole like you could tell the actors is hamming it up and everything, like he's just really going full bad guy, and it's really amazing. And you know he's the kind of being that just taunts like Alan and just says like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make some time with your wife now. You know, like he's just
freaking Leland
he's such a
Palmer.
dick.
He's Leland Palmer mixed with Mr. Blonde.
I agree. I
And, like,
agree. And you see him like kill people. Like I mean, they don't show it in graphic detail, but you see him like he's really going around just killing people. He's like everything that Alan would be if Alan were like the worst version of himself. And I actually really like it. And I also really like that when he's reading the manuscripts and you come across Mr. Scratch's name, he doesn't say Mr. Scratch. It's just a literal like it's a scratch mark on the manuscript. And when it comes to his name, you just hear like static,
Yep.
so you don't even know.
That-
But yeah,
I
that's-
heard about when I was
Play on
watching
it.
My review that you never hear his actual name. They just call him that because that's the sound that makes when they mention him.
I thought that was a cool idea. I really didn't like the way that you dispatch him at the end. I think that it just was way too easy. Because like, yeah, it's you get into the theater, you take control of the projector, and then the projector light just kills him. That's it. And
it's
then you're
basically the Scarecrow boss fight from Batman Arkham Asylum.
that's essentially
Oh
what
my
it is.
gosh. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
But
my
and then
gosh.
like at the very least, like even though I have my own issues with American Nightmare story, and that's why
Yeah.
typically I'm like it's not really required. It's more like extra if you really just want more. But like the gameplay is really solid, and on top of that, you have the 3 flavors of like
Yeah.
women for each of us. Because like you have the mechanic lady, you have the scientist lady, and then you have the lady at the theater, and it's just like, oh, look, there's one that caters to all 3 of us.
Wait a minute. What do you mean?
But the
Who do
biggest-
I get here?
I think who you immediately latch onto, it's like, oh, okay, fuck you, Josh.
Who,
But like
who do you
there-
think?
with you, I'd imagine more the lady at the lady at the observatory.
See, I don't think so.
Let me guess.
I don't
the
think so
mechanic
now.
lady?
Maybe before though. Maybe before. I don't know.
'Cause,
Whichever
like,
one of them is willing to dominate me, I think would be probably the one.
I saw the mechanic lady, and like I'm like, oh, okay, that's like Brock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at this here.
I could see it. Honestly.
Rough,
I
like,
mean,
I'm looking.
I
for
could see
research
it, but like,
references.
Based
but
off of her
if
saying
she were
works at a
naughty,
mechanic shop,
scientist.
if she worked at a mechanic shop, I'm kind of like, okay, we got Rachel Meadows,
I could see that.
and then we got is the one from the mechanic shop Serena?
Oh, the one with the mechanic shop is Emma Sloan.
Emma Sloan. That's what. Yeah, that's
All
right.
I will.
That's right.
Confirm or deny. Give me one moment.
And then meanwhile, with me, you got Serena Valdivia.
Serena
God,
Valdivia.
these
Yes.
fucking names.
You know,
Oh my god.
I wouldn't be against it. But the one that I was just looking at, I think it was the one that you just mentioned, Serena. I do like the shirt and look of her. I'm not complaining about either of them. Also, that Rachel Meadows girl in the, which I believe that is the other one in the like lab coat.
Rachel Meadows. Yeah.
I
don't
complain about
know.
any of them. I'm gonna be real honest with you.
I wouldn't
One
either,
was.
but Rachel would have to be like she would have to be like this is her like in her academic, Like she like that would be my hot for teacher kind of a thing, you know what I mean? Like she would have to be like sexy librarian type. I don't
You see what
know.
I mean?
Like at the end at night she would have to let her hair down a little bit and get a little freaky deaky.
You see what I mean when I say like these three characters are just like that meme of the writer's barely disguised fetish?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
pretty much it.
all of this
I
builds
agree.
to the framework of this particular DLC, Brock, which is that American Nightmare is just a Night Springs episode.
Okay.
It really is.
That makes sense.
It's even got the 3-act structure.
It's got the
Yeah.
3-act structure. It starts with like, I think a voiceover of just like, when you're trapped in a small desert town.
Oh yeah,
And,
it's got the Rod Serling voice guy.
And it ends with Alan meeting up with Alice again, but there's like that undertone of like, but this isn't real.
Okay.
And that would kind of stay that way
Yeah.
for years. Unless you were someone that just happened to play Quantum Break.
Good
Oh, man.
Lord. I wish they.
I
would just
started
put
that
on
game
the
a little
other
bit.
consoles so it could be a part of the grand. Didn't they basically just make another version of Quantum Break in one of those?
I felt like they did, right?
DLC things.
In the
that they put out?
DLCs, they kind of do and kind of don't, where Quantum Break is kind of canon, but also not because they don't have the rights to it. That's some
Oh.
fucky wucky stuff that we
I
could
thought-
get into when it gets to that point.
Yeah,
Because
I
it's
thought I heard them. They just named a character Blankenstein instead of. What is...
they call him Tim Breaker instead of Time.
Tim. Oh my god. That's
But, like-
amazingly bad.
So that's in essence Alan Wake, and like just kind of going through everything. I don't know. What are your guys' general thoughts? Like good, bad, ugly.
I really liked it. Like I said, other than the poltergeist
Yeah.
in that freaking dam/bridge section, I loved it. Like, but some games that I love have those sections in them. It was
Yeah.
a game that you
That's
could
true.
tell was having issues figuring out exactly what it wanted to be, and the dev troubles. That makes total sense. But
I definitely agree with you, Brock. Yeah, go on.
I got the overall vision, and the overall vision was to relay that story, but it had to put some struggles in it gameplay wise because it's not just a movie. But I really liked it, and I look forward to playing 2. I probably am going to do 2 for around Halloween, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Ooh.
Because
Sounds
I will be
good.
playing Yote off screen.
Oh,
in
yeah.
October.
There's
I'm not
some
waiting for streams for that.
no, there's some big games happening. So like, yeah, that I totally get it, and I'm down to come back like sometime in October when you're.
Yes, figure that way we can actually plan it, have it right directly after, and that'll be perfect for the spooky season.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and Kiona, like your thoughts.
I really want to play through Control. Also, I've only
you
played a
not
few
played
hours
Control?
of that. I have not played all the way through it.
Kiona, that is legitimately one of the best. I
Yeah,
want to say this.
it's so good.
The
I really enjoyed what I played. So
it is one of the best. God, how do I want to say this? The most well constructed, knew exactly what it wanted to be settings
Yeah.
of anything I've ever played.
yeah,
Oh
That game-
yeah,
Perfectly knew exactly to the point what it
Like-
wanted to be.
like how I mentioned before, how like with Alan Wake, it felt like Sam Wake just was just like, all right, I'm free of Max Payne. Let's throw everything out there, and didn't really like have like a strong like blue like roadmap of like this is exactly what it's going to be. Control is the exact opposite of that. Like, all right, I'm at something else
Mhm,
now.
mhm, mhm.
This is how it's going to be going forward, even down to the gameplay. Like it's so much more gameplay focused than anything else that Remedy's ever done. And
Yeah.
it's kind of, you kind of had to search out for like the supplemental materials to like get a little bit more into the world. And if you do play Control, you'll actually get a lot of context as to what's happened outside of Alan Wake, because it is in the same universe. You get like
Yeah.
just for example, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or
Federal Bureau of Control.
The Federal Bureau of Control, they actually ended up like acquisitioning Night Springs and use it as subtle propaganda to like get people more like ease people into the idea of understanding preternatural experiences out in the world. Like it's their way of just kind of like, hey, you see this like really weird creepy show, this could actually happen outside, so don't worry, you're okay. And you get like little bits if you look hard enough until you get to like the DLC segment where it's actually a continuation.
Yeah.
You'll get little bits of like interviews with Alice Wake following an altered world event, and they give it like a certain number. They call it the Bright Falls incident.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and there's so much. There's a picture that they said they used for a lot of inspiration. I believe they did, where it's just a shack quarantined in the middle of a warehouse, and everyone's like, "That's the most Control-looking image I've ever seen." They're like, "That was actually a big inspiration." Like, you're gonna cut like one of my favorite things from Control. If I remember correctly, was refrigerator. They're walking like they're going through all these AWEs or these random things you're not supposed to go, and then they're like hearing videotapes of these people talking about it, and then there's this guy who's just like, "Don't blink." It's like, what do you mean? Keep looking at the refrigerator. What happens if I don't look at it? You're dead. What do you mean I can't stop looking at it? Just don't stop looking at it. And then it just cuts away and the guy's just not there anymore. And you're hearing the videotapes of the previous people from these experiments and shit. It's just all this stuff they have quarantined inside this Control building. It's fucking weird.
It's
And-
so weird.
And one of the best things is that I alluded to it earlier. There is the patented Remedy needle drop moment, and
Ashtray maze.
it is done through the in-universe band, the Old Gods of Asgard.
Yeah, the
So,
Ashtray
like,
maze is great.
That's how like it like directly like ties in. And did that like enhance it a little bit? Like just kind of like having that pre-knowledge and then going into Alan Wake. Oh,
It was the Old Gods have had like what did it? Oh, that's where that came from. I get it. now. But yeah, man, Control is the game that if they ever did something licensed, my God, Remedy should make a Doctor Strange game.
Oh God, yeah.
I felt
I could
that
see that.
so hard when I was playing Control. I'm like,
I could see that.
all of it, like how you move and everything, just do.
you may get even more out of Control, Kiona, before you get to Alan Wake 2. The frustrations that you felt with the gameplay, I
Mhm.
feel like Control is what they
No,
were trying
Control
to
is
do.
tighter. It's
Yeah.
tighter. Yeah.
Control is some of the
Yeah,
best gun
but
I've ever felt.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about it is that like even though I had my complaints about the game and everything, I think the story is so strong that it will just it you know, you're so into that aspect of Alan Wake that like I feel like it just kind of does away with everything else. You know what I mean? Like I would play through that game even if it had like the worst gameplay just because the story is so good. So yeah, I mean, I would say that I and it doesn't have the worst gameplay. I would say that I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it back in the day too when it first came out. When I first played it, I remember just really liking it and telling people that I liked it, and of course nobody listened, so nobody bought it. But you know, it's still it still remains one of my favorite 360 games, especially of that era, and it still remains like even to this day, even though I played the remastered edition, which I felt like is a little bit worse in terms of the combat, but it still is a worthwhile playthrough. So yeah, I would recommend anybody just go out and play it for sure if they have not. I can't wait to play the second one. I'm so excited to see like the differences and everything. I have played just the beginning part of the second one.
Oh,
And
so
then
you
we
already
decided to do
know.
this, so I wanted to get back. I wanted to go back and replay this one anyway, just so that to get in the mindset and then replay Control, or play through Control, I should say, all the way through. Yeah, I already know how it opens with Alan Wake 2, and I know the fact that they really try to freak you out in the opening stuff, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is they definitely they amped it up, and I love it.
The best thing too is since you've already played that opening bit, when we come back for this, Brock, you actually already know how Control or how Alan Wake 2 opens, thanks to Control. Which is a great thing. Like one last note on that, and then we're pretty much But
Yeah.
in the remaster version, there are QR codes that you can
Yes.
scan. And
Yeah.
And if you scan them, it actually loads up like little things that you see in Control during the Alan Wake segment. But
Mhm.
it's like different things than what is in the Control DLC because it's like actually like little bits from Alan Wake 2 that are like manuscripts that you end up discovering later on. They give you little hints of like, wait, but what's going on here? Who's this character? Why is that character here? So just like that nice little tease, and even then, that's so. I find it really cool too that even years later, adding that stuff, they still find new ways to like kind of bridge the gap with Alan Wake 1 and Control into Alan Wake 2, and they still make it like as inventive as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the eyes have it. Alan Wake, play it if you haven't already. It is
Hell yeah.
really something special, and
Yeah.
obviously we only scratched the surface when it comes to this stuff, but I mean, like, it's so quirky that it's hard to even like distill it all in like a single kind of discussion. It's one of those things that like when you play it, you'll know what you like and what you gravitate to, and you'll see the vision on screen. And I cannot wait for you guys to experience Alan Wake 2 in its full glory.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited to play it.
That's gonna be a good time.
All
Well,
right.
Yes.
that
was a
about
good
does it.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got to do this. Like I said, this has been a
Me too.
astronomically long time in the making. But yeah, we got through it, and it'll be a much, you guys won't know, but it'll be a much shorter gap between playing the game and recording the review for the podcast for it the next time.
Agreed. Yeah.
But,
Most definitely.
All right. Yeah, that was good. Finally got through it, and I really look forward to playing the next one because I've heard nothing but unbelievable good things about it. So yeah, that'll be good.
Same here.
Josh, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on YouTube at JoshBoy64, where I just uploaded today my favorite and least favorite films I saw last year. Not just like movies that released last year, but films that I just saw in general last year. And it's an hour and a half. So if you want to just put it on while you're cleaning or anything like that, you can. If there's little bits that you just want to see, I have timestamps in the video to just kind of jump to. You can also find me at Cursed Cinema Cubed, where we uploaded a while ago our episode where me, Gwendolyn MJ Stone, and Chimera Film Steve, we watched the Asylum's Hold Your Breath. And I am currently in the midst of editing not just an upcoming Superman video, but I am also editing the next episode where we watch Streets of Fire, the 1984
Nice.
classic.
Oh,
And
good.
You can
good.
find me at Blue Sky under JSH Lozano at bluesky.social or whatever. And yeah, you can find me in the Renegade Pop Culture socials. I'm trying to be more active on Facebook again.
There you go. Nice.
Nice,
Fiona?
nice. You can find me on Twitter at Neoplasmic24, also on Instagram and Threads at Neoplasmic81, and on Twitch and Blue Sky at just Neoplasmic.
You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. If anyone is interested in Ghost of Yotei, as I mentioned earlier, I will be doing a giveaway on October 2nd at the midnight release. All you have to do is be subscribed and watching during the giveaway. Yes, Manny, I am talking to you. You have to be watching or I will re-roll the giveaway. Yeah, $5 for something that's worth $80. I think it's a pretty good deal. And if you're anything like cosplaying or anything as such as conventions, all of that stuff that I do can be over on my Instagram at Organoid Zero. Alrighty, until next time, we will see you all later. Bye!